right now on 5 on your side at 10.
The window of opportunity for wind-whipped rain and storms prompts a weather impact alert day for Friday. Why the wind stays gusty even after the threat of storms is gone.
We could just be hours away from state control of St. Louis police.
Let's just work together and make St. Louis safer, make the whole state safer for everyone.
Tonight, a closer look how one vote could take a bite out of several crimes in Missouri. First tonight, breaking news, tragedy on the tracks brings Metrolink service to a halt.
Tonight, one person is dead after being hit by a Metrolink train in Midtown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. It happened at I-64 and Van Deventer. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live at the Cortex station to explain how service is still being impacted as a result. Brent?
Well, I'll tell you what, the medical examiner leaving the scene not too long ago. Train service coming to a halt earlier this evening. And this isn't the first time we've seen this.
How do you even do that?
Flashing red and blue lights Tuesday evening. A death investigation next to the IKEA in Midtown.
I don't know if he fell asleep on the tracks or lay down on the tracks. I'm not sure.
A man lying in front of the tracks just before 6:15. The Metrolink driver heading east tried to stop but couldn't.
That sucks. It's horrible.
Passengers were on that train at the time of the tragedy.
After everything was settled, they got him all off and took him to a bus on Van Deventer.
I mean, imagine what they're dealing with right now. They were just in a train and killed somebody.
It impacted train service for hours.
I was headed to the train, but train's not running.
Other people trying to get on board tell me they were redirected to the Central West End. We've seen this before. It hasn't been 3 weeks since someone was seen jumping over a brick wall before stumbling and falling onto train tracks outside of the Enterprise Center. That person also died.
That was surprising that there's two back-to-back so quickly, but it's not very common.
The sad ordeal Tuesday night, leaving this guy trying to get back to South City with one option.
Catch the bus.
Let's take you back alive now. Trains between Grand Station and the Central West End came to a halt for a couple of hours so that crews could investigate. Bus shuttles are canceled for the night. And within just the last hour, Metrolink sent out a reminder saying it is never safe to walk or even ride a bike on or next to tracks because trains can't swerve to avoid people or cars. Live in Midtown tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
We're also following breaking news out of downtown St. Louis. One man is dead, another person is injured after a shooting. Happened about 3 hours ago near the corner of Tucker and Spruce. That is just steps away from the Robert A. Young Federal Building, the St. Louis Police Academy, and a St. Louis firehouse. The other person was shot in the arm and taken to the hospital. Their conditions not known. It is unclear who was the suspect or the victim, but police say the two knew each other.
Another cool evening across St. Louis after another warm day in the 70s, but all eyes are on Friday when we could hit 80 degrees.
That is before our next weather impact alert goes into effect. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell tracking it all for us tonight.
Well, we've been looking at all of the data we've seen from the afternoon model runs that come in. We're just starting to see the information coming in now from the late evening runs that start around 8:30 or so. It takes them 2 or 3 hours to come in. We'll follow up with some more information for you here at about 10:35 on 5+. But still looking at this 4 p.m. to midnight time frame for our weather impact alert here on Friday. And yes, all types of severe weather are possible. So now's the time to make sure you have that plan, be ready to go. This disturbance that's coming into California and Arizona right now, that'll pass mainly to our south as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday. But here's the energy that we're tracking for Friday. And all things still point to this being a very large windy system. So it's mostly sunny lunchtime on Friday, but you're looking at winds gusting around 40. Those winds get stronger. The storm chances increase as we head in towards the evening rush hour. By about 7 to 9 o'clock when we're thinking we get that line of quick hitting storms in St. Louis. Then they will exit around midnight off to the east of town. Gusts could be above 50 miles per hour away from any thunderstorms Friday afternoon into Friday night. That line of thunderstorms about 3 o'clock on the development in central Missouri and then pressing into our area. Again, wind's going to be the biggest factor with this. but we can't rule out some isolated tornadoes and a little bit of hail. We'll talk more about that, time it out, and show you just some new information we've seen in about the last 25 minutes.
See you then, Scott. Just hours from now, the Missouri House of Representatives is expected to vote on a major crime bill that would give the state control of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department.
And that's not the only thing it will do. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski followed up with the bill's top sponsor this afternoon. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, leaders in Jefferson City say at this point, state takeover of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department is imminent. But to garner that bipartisan support they had to add a few things to the measure. Senator Nick Schroer says in this new crime bill, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department would be controlled by a citizen board of 5 state-appointed members and the mayor.
Both mayoral candidates have gone on the record saying they want to fight this. What is your response to that?
Well, they can fight all they want. The people spoke loud and clear when they voted for individuals that were serving in the Senate and in the House.
The bill will give police and prosecutors the tools to hold people accountable for drag racing and stunt driving.
We can increase the penalties if somebody has continued to do this and they have not been deterred by the criminal justice system.
Also for criminals repeatedly breaking into businesses, which Schroer says can be hard for prosecutors to address across multiple jurisdictions.
And this language that we have allows these prosecutors the ability to reach out to the Attorney General saying, hey, we need your help.
Under this legislation, prosecutors across the state will have to report numbers to the state, including the number of cases filed, cases that were thrown out, and police referrals that were refused.
It kind of gets all of the crime data in one centralized location so we can start making those decisions if we need to approach the concurrent jurisdiction with the Attorney General.
Senator Steve Roberts doesn't support state control, but does support other portions, including a clause allowing people with overturned wrongful convictions to receive restitution.
Unfortunately, the previous administration vetoed that. Pregnant women, preventing them from being shackled in prisons, getting rid of price gouging for inmates and who are locked up and confined. So there's a lot of really good things to vote for in the bill.
Representative Steve Butts says while he doesn't love everything in it, he's on board.
But like every bill here, you have to take the whole and say, is there enough good in that to make sure that it is for the common good? And I think that is the case on this bill.
The House is scheduled to vote on this bill tomorrow, and then if the governor signs it immediately this week from that signature date, he have about 90 days to appoint four board members to control the department. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
New at 10, St. Louis Public Schools have reached a settlement agreement with the mother of the student killed in a mass shooting at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School. The wrongful death lawsuit was filed by Keisha Akers, the mother of Alexandra Bell. 15-year-old and teacher Jean Kushka were killed in the October 2022 shooting, several others injured. According to court documents, the district disputed liability. The cash amount of the settlement has not been released. We did reach out tonight to both SLPS and the mother's attorney, but we have yet to hear back.
Tonight, a man shot by St. Louis police is now facing charges. Vincent Simmons was shot early Saturday morning after crashing a car on North Kings Highway while fleeing police. He was wanted for felony stealing in Richmond Heights. Police say an officer shot him as he ran into a nearby yard. Simmons is still in the hospital tonight and charged with several counts, including resisting arrest and unlawful possession of a firearm. New details tonight in the death of a Fairview Heights man. We have learned 19-year-old Byron Geddes Jr. was actively serving in the United States Army. He was found shot to death Sunday in an alley on Gay Avenue in East St. Louis. His mother, Latricia Geddes, says she knew something was wrong when her son didn't show up for his Army Reserve drill over the weekend.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking to see that because I felt it in my heart and my spirit that something was wrong. Like I felt it. I think it was a mother's intuition. Hopefully they just find the ones who did this to my baby.
Private First Class Byron Geddes Jr. was excited for his deployment to Kuwait at the end of the month. Illinois State Police are still looking for his killer.
A new symbol, a proposed tax, and a ballot battle were the highlights of St. Louis County Executive Sam Page's State of the County address today. Page criticized Proposition B, saying it would cause chaos. If voters pass it next month, the county council would have the power to discipline and remove department heads.
B is bad, B is a power grab, and B does nothing good for St. Louis County.
No, Prop B is not a power grab. It's again the fear mongering that, the county executive wants to purport.
Page also proposed an internet sales tax on the ballot for voters to consider. He estimates it would raise an additional $50 million a year. He also unveiled a new St. Louis County flag. It features a fleur-de-lis pointing forward, signifying progress and opportunity. A rare disease has robbed a Metro East 6-year-old of many childhood treasures, including the ability to ride a bike.
Until now, new at 10, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend reports, thanks to a Good Samaritan's generosity, the little girl will soon get a chance to enjoy some new wheels.
Here we go, get Grandpa.
Like many kids, 6-year-old Aubrey O'Sullivan of O'Fallon, Illinois, has always loved to ride her little cars and bikes. But sadly, out of the blue, one day,
Aubrey was just shy of 3 years old when she woke up one day with a limp. And a month later, she couldn't lift her left arm.
O'Sullivan and her husband couldn't believe what was happening to their only daughter and youngest of 3.
She was misdiagnosed 3 times before they did genetic testing and found out that she has a disease called reducing body myopathy. There's less than 30 cases in all of medical literature, and there's no treatment and there's no cure.
The rare disease weakens Aubrey's body, leaving her immobile. As a result, she can no longer ride her bike.
The only type of bike that exists that could give her a chance to get back on a bicycle is this Worksman electric side-by-side.
Last week, Allison found that bike in the Great Bike Giveaway on Facebook. It's a project of the nonprofit Friendship Circle, where kids with special needs can participate in a giveaway to win or fundraise for an adaptive bike suited for them. The O'Sullivans couldn't afford the $6,000 bike.
I didn't expect anyone to fundraise on her behalf,
but they did.
It was a perfect fit.
Kathy Nesbitt of Swansea saw this post about Aubrey on our 5 on Your Side website. In 2018, her 32-year-old daughter, Colleen, died after a 6-year battle with epilepsy. Tuesday, Kathy called her board members with the foundation, named in memory of her daughter, and got them to immediately donate more than $1,000 to help Aubrey get an adaptive bike similar to this one.
It feels wonderful. I just am elated to be able to help them.
So Aubrey's new bike will get here in about 2 to 6 weeks, and you bet she can't wait.
Are you excited? Do you want to tell anybody thank you?
Thank you.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Kathy Nesbitt says when Aubrey's adaptive bike arrives, she's hoping to meet her and her parents.
Paying up for using payment apps. Tonight we verify who needs to report to the IRS. Flying a popular discount airline will soon come with more baggage.
So that's just something I'm gonna have to reconsider now.
The new charge causing some turbulence with Southwest flyers.
There will be quite a bit of turbulence in our skies Friday evening. The latest on our severe weather threat that has us on a weather impact alert for Friday evening.
A live look at Capitol Hill tonight. The federal government set to run out of money in just 72 hours. And just hours ago, the U.S. House narrowly passed a 6-month funding bill, but it now heads to the Senate, where 8 Democrats will have to join 53 Republicans to cross the Senate's 60-vote threshold. Another roller coaster day on Wall Street as the U.S. stock market fell amid trade war whiplash. President Donald Trump doubled the tariff on Canadian aluminum and steel. It was in response after Ontario, Canada raised prices on electricity exports to the U.S. And late today, both sides pulled back and agreed to renewed trade talks.
Tomorrow, the U.S. Department of Education is expected to cut its workforce in half. The cuts will affect nearly 2,000 civil service workers. President Trump has said he wants to eliminate the agency and put education in the hands of individual states. There are only 35 days left to file your 2024 tax returns, and tonight our Verify team is clearing up confusion over a new requirement.
Yeah, the IRS has lowered the threshold for reporting income from payment apps like Venmo and PayPal. Megan Bragg is here to tell us the amount required to fill out a 1099.
There seems to be some confusion on social media about when you will get a 1099 from third-party network transactions like Venmo, PayPal, and Apple Pay. So let's verify. Our source is Mark Stieber, information officer with Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, and the IRS. According to the IRS, a new reporting threshold for apps like Venmo and PayPal is now in place. The threshold used to be $20,000 before Venmo and PayPal would send you a 1099 to report income. Now, on your 2024 taxes, people will get a 1099 if they received $5,000 or more through these apps.
If you're getting side gig income and you're most importantly getting it through your third-party platform, make sure you account for that correctly, because what you don't want to have happen is you get your 1099K and go, no, I don't need to worry about that. That's personal. Well, if you've got one, the IRS has got one, and you're probably going to get a letter asking why that's not on your tax return.
The IRS says next year they plan on lowering that to $600. Stieber says this change is to help make tax reporting more manageable for small-scale sellers and businesses and make sure everyone is reporting significant income. Stieber says if you are a seller or a small business owner and don't get a 1099, it is important to still report all income from third-party payment systems on your taxes. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
What would you like for us to verify? Just send an email to verify@ksdk.com.
Here's a live look at Terminal 2 at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Big changes are coming to its biggest tenant. Southwest Airlines announced today bags will no longer fly for free. The budget carrier is ending its long-standing policy in an effort to boost profits. The move is causing some turbulence with flyers.
We love Southwest. We always try there first. But if you're paying for a bag both ways, then it kind of adds up, and then I might look around.
It's been very helpful, of course, and affordable to fly Southwest. So that's just something I'm going to have to reconsider now.
The change begins May 28th. It affects all passengers outside of the top-tier fare class. Later this year, Southwest also plans to swap out its open seating for assigned seating.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the weather impact forecast. Obviously a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow, but all eyes, Scott, continue to be on Friday.
You know, Friday is our big impact day around St. Louis. Things are fairly quiet tonight. We're dropping off back into the 50s and 60s around St. Louis. Have a little boundary to our north. There's a few clouds out here that'll drift in later tonight, early tomorrow morning, but nothing that's really going to give us any big impacts. In fact, this system coming into southern portions of California, that's for very late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Any rain associated with that as it slips by to our south should stay south of St. Louis and overall have very little impact. This doesn't look overly impressive right now, but this is the energy here that we're tracking for Friday, because this is going to carve out a pretty good path out along the Pacific coast. And once that energy swings towards us, well, it increases the shear, it increases the lift in the atmosphere. Those are two of the four ingredients we need for severe weather. The instability and the moisture, that's a little bit lacking. We look at the instability and the storm energy here. It could be a bit higher for severe weather. Now, this may be enough because of the strong winds that we have aloft. In fact, we're going to have the gusty winds at the ground. By the time we get to midnight, though, it's pushing away. So this is a really narrow time frame that we deal with. One thing to note, look down here across parts of Alabama. I know we have a lot of people that are either on spring break right now or will be this weekend, and that takes a lot of people traveling down through Alabama towards the Gulf Coast, say Destin over to Panama City Beach. If you're one of those either going Saturday or coming back Saturday or know somebody that is, let them know that Saturday there is the potential severe weather down there. Our potential. And the weather impact alert here is from 4 p.m. until midnight on Friday. We could see all types of severe weather, so make that plan now. Here's something new for you this evening. As we look at the computer simulated radar here, notice the area of rain kind of narrowing. As we get the higher resolution modeling, we will start to see this get even more fine-tuned. What we're thinking is 8, 9, 10 o'clock on Friday evening, we'll have this fairly strong line of strong to severe thunderstorms, but outside of that line of thunderstorms, you have the gusty winds all afternoon Friday, right on into early Saturday morning. 64 degrees right now in St. Louis. Again, a few clouds will come in later on tonight. North of town, we're in the lower 40s, close to 50 for most areas early tomorrow. And outside of a few clouds in the morning, it should become pretty bright tomorrow afternoon, back into the upper 70s. That warm weather will continue into Friday. Right around 80 Thursday. Friday, you're right around 80 or 2. The weather impact alert for Friday evening again, about 4 to midnight. Now, we may fine tune that just a little bit as we get closer. Again, we're starting to get into that higher resolution modeling, which starts to fine tune some of these smaller scale disturbances and the smaller scale features that feed into this system. So we'll be analyzing it the next few days.
Oh, I know you will.
Thanks, Scott.
Here's Corey with sports.
Well, the Blues are betting on their roster and helping place some bets for charity. A surprising name could be in line for a spot on the Cardinals' opening day roster. And high school hoops playoffs roll on. Stick around. Sports is up next. Doug Armstrong is a savvy gambler. He didn't like the options on the table at the trade deadline, so he's going with the cards he was dealt. So far, it's paying off. The Blues are 7-1-2 in their last 10 games and finding themselves just a point out of playoff position. Yes, I'm going somewhere with that gambling theme. Tonight was the team's annual casino night to help benefit Children's Hospital. We got to see Jordan Biddington wield a different kind of stick, Justin Falk deal out some blackjack winners, and Jim Montgomery don a solid fedora. I caught up with the captain to chat about his commitment to giving back as a professional athlete and who he thinks has the worst poker face on the team.
Maybe Nathan Walker. I don't know. Pretty honest guy, always has a smile on his face, so I'll go with him. When you're an athlete, you have a chance to put a smile on someone's face. Even if it lasts a day, it means something to us.
On the ice, the enthusiasm was high at practice for the note today at Centene. Not surprising when you consider they've won 6 of their last 8 games. The schedule is favorable for the Blues, who don't play again until Thursday. But right now, the focus is on continuing what they've built since the break, and a little fun isn't bad either.
Her level of attention to details and habits have gone up in her games because we've showed a lot in practice, and obviously we like being around each other right now, and winning obviously helps, but I think it starts from the hard work that we put in practice.
Taking flight, Card Spring Training, sponsored by Wood Basement Systems.
Cardinals and Marlins stay at their shared home of Roger Dean Stadium. Bad day for Eric Fetty on the hill. Gave up a 2-run shot to Griffin Conine. Yes, that's Jeff Conine's son. And that was just the beginning of the problems. 6 earned runs in 4 innings for Fetty today. Cardinals lost 12-5. But here's an intriguing name to watch for the Cards. Jose Barrero had another nice day with 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a stolen base. And he could be this camp's dark horse candidate to make the opening day roster.
I think he has a great chance. I mean, you mentioned an imposing specimen. He's 6'4", he's 215 pounds, 26 years old. The bat has always been a question about him because he was a top prospect in the Cincinnati organization. But, some guys mature a little later. The question for him will be, if he's not going to play every day, how do you get him at bats?
It's our final 5 on your sideline of the season this Friday. That means the high school basketball playoffs are getting serious. And we had one whale of a matchup for the girls tonight between 2 title contenders. Class 6 District 3 Championship, Lutheran St. Charles against 7-time defending champ Incarnate Word. Lots of buckets in this one. Peyton Hill, that's an Incarnate triple. Fast break, Nevaeh Lucius finishes it off for the Red Knights. Then the other way, the McDonald's All-American Jordan Spicer. Tough bucket right there for Lutheran St. Charles. But Peyton Hill and the Red Knights have yet another title in sight. Hill had 20 as Incarnate wins the district 84-68. Incarnate is going for another title. Nashville already has one. The Hornets took home the Illinois 2A state crown this past weekend with a dominating 55-29 win over Peoria Notre Dame. It's the program's first state title since 2013, and with just one graduating senior, they could be back for more. In a basketball-crazy town like Nashville, the community has been all over this championship team.
It really does take like a village and a community, and our community is amazing. They support us, win or loss, and especially at that Central game when we had like a huge crowd there, that definitely made a difference.
Yeah, I usually just go up to random people and it's like, we are state champions. I'm just always like in disbelief most of the time.
Oh, they're going to be dominant for a long time. I mean, I think that those girls are going to go back next year and probably the year after that, and hopefully it just continues.
Tell you what, Jordan Bennington a little bit better with the goalie paddle than the craps stick on the craps table.
But it's great they were doing that for
Everybody was
Children's
having a
Hospital.
great time. Awesome event.
Thanks, Corey.
A St. Louis gem is about to be glowing. The popular zoo event packing a bigger roar this year.
The 41st annual Ancient Order of Hibernian St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dogtown, just 6 days away. The parade will march down Tam Avenue on Monday at 11 a.m. If you can't make it to the party, don't worry. You can watch it live for free on the 5+ streaming app on your Apple, Roku, or Fire TV. You and your family can celebrate wildlife and Chinese traditions under the stars at the St. Louis Zoo.
Animals Aglow returns for the second year, starting at dusk tomorrow night. Here's a sneak peek. The Lantern Festival features dozens of glowing light displays, and this year you'll find animal lanterns from 3 different regions of the world. Every night features acrobats, cultural performers, and even spacewalking and specialty food. The lanterns are sure to dazzle.
Behind us is one of the traditional lanterns. So these date back thousands of years in Chinese culture. This one behind us is 65 feet tall and is our biggest lantern that we've ever had here.
Animals Aglow is every Wednesday through Sunday evening through May 11th. There are 2 sensory-friendly nights on March 23rd and April 9th. You can buy tickets on the zoo's website. They start at just under $17.
And if you want to know more about what's going on Friday, Scott is here.
Yeah, 10:33. So in 2 minutes, actually 1 minute and 30 seconds, we're going to be on 5+, and we're going to get you caught up on what's going on with some extra details on Friday.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10, and we're always streaming on